Your doctor checked your cholesterol. Your labs came back normal. But there's a type of fat inside your body right now that no one's measuring. And it's quietly destroying your organs, your muscles, and your arteries. It's called visceral fat. And here's what most people don't know. Jogging makes it worse. Sprinting makes it disappear. Stay with me. What I'm about to show you is going to completely change how you think about exercise and inflammation. As a pharmacist with over 3 decades in healthcare, I've watched the medical establishment obsess over cholesterol for years while completely ignoring one of the most important biomarkers for chronic disease and early death: visceral fat. I've been diving deep into the research from Dr. Sean O'Mara, an emergency medicine physician and researcher who scanned over 6,000 abdomens using MRI technology. And what he's documenting is going to shock you. Visceral fat isn't just belly fat. It's an active inflammatory organ that's systematically destroying your body from the inside out. And the exercise advice you've been following your entire life, long distance running, chronic cardio, hours on the treadmill, is making it worse, not better. And today I'm breaking down exactly what visceral fat is, why it matters more than your cholesterol ever will, and the specific type of exercise that eliminates it faster than anything else. This isn't theory. This is documented with MRI evidence. Let's get into it. Let's start with something your doctor probably never told you. There are 2 completely different types of body fat, and only one of them is trying to kill you. Subcutaneous fat sits just under your skin. You can pinch it, you can see it. It's relatively harmless. In fact, superficial subcutaneous fat is actually protective. It's metabolically neutral. It just sits there. Visceral fat is completely different. It surrounds your organs deep inside your abdomen. You can't see it from the outside. You can't pinch it, but it's metabolically active, meaning it's constantly pumping out inflammatory molecules called cytokines and adipokines, tumor necrosis factor, interleukin-6. These are the same inflammatory markers you see in autoimmune disease, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. And here's the part that should terrify you. Visceral fat is the first sign of chronic disease in the body. It's not a consequence of aging. It's not genetic. It starts accumulating in childhood from processed foods, sugar, seed oils, and chronic stress. By the time you're in your 40s or 50s, it's been quietly damaging your organs for decades. And here's what visceral fat does once it takes hold. It infiltrates your liver, fatty liver disease. It infiltrates your pancreas, fatty pancreas, which is the hallmark of type 2 diabetes. It infiltrates your muscles. This is called myosteatosis, and it's why you're losing strength and performance as you age. It even infiltrates the smooth muscle of your arteries, contributing to atherosclerosis and heart disease. Your cholesterol number? Irrelevant. Your visceral fat? That's the number that predicts whether you're going to have a heart attack, a stroke, or develop cancer. And conventional medicine completely ignores it. Radiologists see it on MRI scans all the time and don't even comment on it in their reports because everybody has it. That's not normal. That's common. And there's a difference. Now here's where this gets controversial, because the exercise advice you've been following for your entire adult life is not only ineffective at removing visceral fat, it actually is making the problem worse. Dr. O'Mara scanned a CEO twice, 3 months apart. This guy was eating clean, no processed foods, no sugar, sleeping well, not drinking alcohol, doing everything right. But his visceral fat hadn't budged, not one bit. Dr. O'Mara asked him one final question: "Are you still running?" The CEO admitted he was still doing his daily distance runs. Dr. O'Mara told him to stop completely. No more jogging, only sprinting. Short, all-out burst followed by full recovery. 2 months later, the CEO came back for another MRI. His visceral fat was almost completely gone. His muscles had grown significantly. The MRI tech came running into Dr. O'Mara's office saying, "This guy got jacked." And the only thing that changed was substituting sprinting for jogging. And here's why this happens. When you sprint true maximum effort for 6 to 10 seconds, your body produces massive amounts of signaling molecules called myokines and lactate. These molecules tell your body to burn fat and build muscle. But here's the critical part. They burn visceral fat first, preferentially. The dangerous fat gets targeted before anything else. Chronic cardio, jogging, long distance running does the opposite. It burns subcutaneous fat, but preserves visceral fat. Dr. O'Mara has seen this repeatedly in distant runners. They look thin on the outside, but their MRI scans show significant visceral fat accumulation that won't go away no matter how many miles they run. The moment they stop running and start sprinting, the visceral fat disappears. The muscles grow, the inflammatory markers drop, the arteries open up. And that brings us to another critical marker Dr. O'Mara tracks: visible pulses. Here's something I'd never heard before this conversation. As you eliminate visceral fat and reduce inflammation, your arteries literally become visible. Your pulse becomes visible on the surface of your skin. Dr. O'Mara calls this your human dashboard. Dr. O'Mara can see his carotid pulse, his radial pulse, his brachial, his femoral, his dorsalis pedis. When he goes out in the sun, those pulses become even more prominent because UV light increases nitric oxide production, which dilates the arteries and increases blood flow. Same thing happens in a sauna. Same thing happens after sprinting. Same thing happens during fasting. All of these interventions increase nitric oxide and improve arterial function. And you can literally see it happen in real time on your own body. This isn't just a cool party trick. This is a real-time biomarker of cardiovascular health. If your pulses aren't visible, your arteries are constricted, blood flow is compromised, oxygen delivery to your tissues is impaired. That's chronic inflammation and arterial disease in action. As visceral fat goes away, the pulses come back, and with them comes improved energy, improved cognition, improved performance, and dramatically reduced risk of cardiovascular events. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I know if I have visceral fat if I can't afford an MRI? Here's the good news. You don't necessarily need a $1,500 MRI to get started. There are proxy markers you can use right now. First, reach behind you and grab your love handles. Push in deep. Don't just pinch the surface. Push down into the deepest part of your lower back. That's deep subcutaneous fat, and it correlates very closely with visceral fat. And if you've got significant love handles, you've got visceral fat. Second, measure your sagittal abdominal diameter. That's the distance from your belly button to your back when you're lying down. Compare that to when you're standing up. The more your belly protrudes when you stand, the more visceral fat has damaged your anterior abdominal muscles. The healthy 18-year-old has almost no difference between standing and lying down. Most adults over 40, significant difference. That's the dad bod. Weak muscles that can't hold your guts in anymore because visceral fat has been leaking inflammatory molecules that damage muscle tissue. Third, waist to height ratio. Your waist circumference should be less than half your height. If it's not, you've got work to do. But the real gold standard is an MRI. And here's how you get one affordably. Call diagnostic imaging centers in your area and tell them you're paying cash, no insurance. Ask for their cheapest price on an abdominal MRI without contrast. Then tell them you'll be a repeat customer every 6 to 12 months. And whoever gives you the best price gets your business. You'd be shocked how negotiable these prices become when insurance isn't involved. Now, how do you actually eliminate visceral fat? Phase 1, remove the triggers. Processed foods, sugar, seed oils. These are non-negotiable. Chronic stress is just as important. If you get a stressful email or phone call, immediately drop and do a maximum push-ups or sprint around the block. Use that cortisol for what it's designed for, explosive physical effort. And don't let it sit and ferment. Phase 2, add the right exercise. Stop jogging, start sprinting. And if you're a complete beginner or have previous injuries, start slow. Very slow acceleration, 6 to 10 seconds of maximum effort, followed by full recovery. If you can't sprint on land, use a stationary bike, a rowing machine, or sprint in a pool. The key is maximum intensity, short duration. Phase 3, support the system. Extended fasting accelerates visceral fat loss through autophagy. Even 18 to 22-hour intermittent fasting daily makes a difference. And add sunshine for nitric oxide production. Use a sauna if you have access. 175 degrees, 15 minutes, 4 to 7 times per week reduces cardiovascular mortality by over 50%. And optimize your microbiome with small amounts of fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, chewed together with fatty red meat. So there you have it. Visceral fat is the hidden killer that conventional medicine ignores. Jogging preserves it. Sprinting eliminates it, and the visible changes in your body, the flat abdomen, the visible pulses, the muscular definition are just the surface markers of what's happening inside. Your organs are healing. Your arteries are opening. Your inflammation is dropping. Dr. O'Mara had an 84-year-old client who completely eliminated his visceral fat and started sprinting regularly. If he can do it, you can do it. Start today. Cut the processed foods. Stop the chronic cardio. Add short, intense sprints. Give it 90 days and watch what happens. If this was valuable, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's been spinning their wheels with conventional exercise advice. Drop your questions in the comments. I read every one. And until next time, this is JD from NuLifeSpan. Stop jogging, start sprinting, and watch your body transform.